Grady Demon Wilson, best known for playing Lamont Sanford on the NBC sitcom Sanford Son, has died. His son, Demon Wilson Jr., confirmed he was pronounced dead Friday morning at his home in Palm Springs, California. He passed away from complications related to cancer. The specific type of cancer has not been disclosed. Wilson was 79 years old. Demon Wilson has a net worth of $2.5 million. His financial success stemmed primarily from his acting career, supplemented by earnings from writing and ministry work. Wilson appeared in 135 of Sanford & Son's 136 episodes, alongside Red Fox, between 1972 and 1977. Wilson was born in Valdosta, Georgia, on October 13, 1946, and grew up in New York City, where he studied tap dance and ballet. He made his Broadway debut at age 4 and danced at Harlem's Apollo Theater at age 12. His first film was the blaxploitation classic Cotton Comes to Harlem in 1970, co-written and directed by Ossie Davis, with whom he had acted on Broadway. Wilson was raised as a Catholic and served as an altar boy. He would spend summers with his grandmother, Ada Mitchell, who was Pentecostal. Wilson briefly considered becoming a Catholic priest. At age 13, Wilson's appendix ruptured, almost killing him, but he vowed to serve God as an adult in some ministerial capacity. He served in the United States Army from 1966 to 1968 and was in the 4th Infantry Division in Vietnam, where he was wounded. Upon his return, he appeared in various shows on and off Broadway, and eventually moved to Los Angeles. His television debut was a memorable guest spot on the Norman Lear classic sitcom All in the Family in 1971, on which he played a burglar opposite Cleveland Little. Later in 1971, after appearing as a robber on All in the Family with Cleveland Little, Wilson won the role of Lamont Sanford in the NBC sitcom Sanford & Son. Johnny Brown was considered for that role, but because of his commitment to Laugh-In, Wilson got the role instead. Sanford & Son, which aired on NBC from 1972 to 1977, was the network's highest-rated show and the second most-watched show on television during its second season. Wilson played Lamont through the run of the series and became the star when Red Fox walked off the show in 1974 over a salary dispute with the producers, and his character was written out for the rest of the season. Fox returned the following year, and the pair worked together until 1977 when the show was canceled. The relationship between Wilson and Fox remained complicated. When asked in 2014 if he kept in touch with anybody from Sanford & Son, especially Fox, who died on October 11, 1991, Wilson responded that he saw Red Fox once before he died, circa 1983, and never saw him again. Wilson described learning about the show's cancellation in frustrating circumstances. He stated his hurt was that Fox didn't come to him about throwing the towel in, and he found out in the hallway at NBC from a newscaster. Wilson said he forgave Fox and loved him, but never forgot that. In 1980 to 1981, Fox attempted to revive the show with the short-lived sitcom Sanford, but Wilson refused to reprise his role for the new series. Wilson had other opportunities. He starred in one season of a show called Baby I'm Back on CBS, for which he was paid $1 million in 1977. Wilson starred as Lamont Sanford on Sanford and Son between 1972 and 1977 before moving on to portray Raymond Ellis on the one season of Baby I'm Back. He landed a starring role in The New Odd Couple as well, which lasted for a season in the early 80s. He was Oscar Madison to Ron Glass' Felix Unger on The New Odd Couple from 1982 to 1983. Wilson also worked in film. He appeared in Sidney Poitier's The Organization in 1971. Wilson also appeared in the films Full Moon High in 1981, Me and the Kid in 1993, and Hammerlock in 2000. Wilson took his acting prowess to the big screen, notably starring in the film Me and the Kid in 1993. Along with various guest spots on television, he much later recurred on Girlfriends from 2004 to 2005, his final on-screen work. He last appeared in the drama Eleanor's Bench in 2023 after a nearly 20-year acting hiatus, according to his IMDb page. Wilson's relationship with the show that made him famous proved deeply conflicted. In a Jet magazine interview years after the series ended, Wilson publicly detailed his dissatisfaction with Sanford & Son. He stated the show was foolishness, adding that he didn't watch it then and didn't watch it afterward. Wilson admitted he had reached a breaking point during production. He said he had had it after the third year of Sanford and Son, noting that nothing was real. Wilson described the initial excitement of material success, including luxury cars and houses, but said those experiences eventually revealed an emptiness in his life. He acknowledged he had worked all those years gearing himself for stardom, but failed to have a life, barely knowing his wife and children. Wilson underwent a significant transformation later in life. He said he had gotten to a point where he was spiritually low and had tried just about everything else, acknowledging he had fallen away from the Lord. In 1984, he was ordained as a minister in the Church of God in Christ and was an active Christian evangelist for much of his adult life. In 1994, he formed the Restoration House of America, which gives spiritual guidance and vocational training to former inmates. Wilson wrote several Christian books concerning the New Age movement and the hidden dangers he believed it holds for society. New Age Millennium was released by Cat Publishing and Literary Company, LLC on December 1, 1998. Wilson, who also authored children's books, called the book an exposé of certain New Age symbols and slogans. His memoir, Second Banana, The Bittersweet Memoirs of the Sanford and Son Years, was released on August 31, 2009. Wilson said it's just a documented truth, a behind-the-scenes factual account of what happened during those years. He noted that Red Fox and he were making history and were the first Blacks to be on television in that capacity, opening the door for all those other shows that came after them. Wilson married model Cicely Johnston on May 3, 1974. They had 6 children. The couple has 6 children: Christopher Demon Jr., Louise, Sarah, Nicole, and Melissa. The marriage lasted more than 5 decades, an uncommon achievement in the entertainment industry. Cicely Johnston was a former model who worked as an airline stewardess before entering modeling. She worked as an airline stewardess before she made a breakthrough in her modeling career. In 1974, she had an uncredited role in the film Caged Heat, directed by Jonathan Demme. The couple maintained a private family life. Johnston chose to remain out of the public eye throughout Wilson's career and ministry work. She focused on creating a stable home environment and raising their children away from media attention. The family currently resides in Palm Springs, California. Details about most of their children have been kept private. Limited information is publicly available about their professional lives or personal pursuits. The family's preference for privacy has been consistent throughout the decades. Wilson's publicist Mark Goldman confirmed the death. Goldman stated he had the privilege of working with Damon for 15 years, and his loss is profoundly felt. He described Wilson as an unbelievable man whose impact will never be forgotten. With Wilson's death, only Hal Williams, 87, remains among actors who appeared on Sanford and Son 20 times or more. The show's main cast members have all now passed away. Red Fox died in 1991 at age 68. Wilson's career spanned acting, writing, and ministry. His portrayal of Lamont Sanford remains his most recognized role, despite his personal ambivalence toward the work. The character was the level-headed son attempting to manage his cantankerous father's junkyard business. The dynamic between father and son provided the show's central conflict and humor. The series addressed social issues while maintaining comedic appeal. It was part of a wave of programming in the 1970s that brought greater representation of Black families to network television. The show's success demonstrated the commercial viability of such programming and influenced subsequent series. Wilson's transition from acting to ministry reflected his lifelong spiritual commitment. His childhood vow to serve God in a ministerial capacity, made after surviving a ruptured appendix at age 13, ultimately shaped the second half of his life. He balanced his entertainment legacy with religious work, appearing frequently on Christian broadcasting networks. His memoir provided insight into the complexities of working on a groundbreaking television series. Wilson addressed both the achievements and challenges of the Sanford and Son years. The book offered his perspective on the show's cultural significance and the relationship between its 2 stars. Wilson's military service in Vietnam, where he was wounded, preceded his entertainment career. He returned home decorated and resumed performing arts work before moving to Hollywood. His experience informed his later advocacy work and ministry focus on rehabilitation and support services. The financial details of Wilson's estate have not been made public. As his spouse of more than 50 years, Cicely Johnston is expected to be a primary beneficiary, along with their 6 children. The family has not announced plans for public memorial services. Wilson's legacy includes his contributions to television history, his work as an author, and his decades of ministry. His role in Sanford and Son helped establish a template for family sitcoms centered on Black characters. The show's influence extended beyond its original run through syndication and cultural impact. Wilson's candid reflections on his dissatisfaction with the role demonstrated the complex relationship performers can have with their most celebrated work.